Hi everyone, Marianne from Revealing Light, Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. Thank you all for coming on yesterday and commenting on my emergency reading that I did. I want to welcome you all to my channel and to those new subscribers. Anyone who's starting to watch this needs to know a couple of things. This is, I am no fan of Vladimir Putin. So if you're thinking, nor Donald Trump, nor, neo-Nazis, nor Proud Boys, nor Oath Keepers, or any energy like that. So get off my channel. Don't bother leaving a comment because it will be deleted. You will be banned and I don't want to see you. I don't want to know you. Okay, on this channel, we read on matters that affect liberty. We read on matters that affect people's freedoms. That's why we're here. That's what we read on. And we try and get an idea, a glimpse of where the troubled events and controversies, where they're leading us as with those freedoms in mind. So I any conspiracy theorists, out the door you go. Really, I've lost patience, and my finger on the delete button, ban button is very quick these days, and it will remain so while ever I am dealing with what is the invasion of a free country in the world. This isn't the lizard people living in Ukraine or any other cock and bull type nonsense. Wake up to yourself. It's not a game. The internet is not a game. This is the reality. This morning, President Zelensky has called up reservists, called up anyone who's had any military experience, men and women alike, and is calling for blood supplies. Okay, so we know in those field hospitals things are grim because, when you need blood, it's because people are wounded, people are dying in battle. I want to mention also a welcome to any of my Russian subscribers who are here for the right reasons. There have been mass protests in Russia against this war in Ukraine, particularly around the younger generation of Russians. Now, I said something yesterday that we do not want war. We do not want old, past their prime, male patriarchal type leaders, whether they be male or female, patriarchal type leaders. I'm reminded of some of the worst conspiracy QAnoners are in the American Congress are female. So gender aside, that patriarchal energy that seeks to repress and suppress evolution and forward progress. Now, after that diatribe, I did wake up in the early hours of the morning. Apologies for my lack of a hairdo, because I am very affected by this. Now, I want to do a couple of things today. I want to revisit those cards that I drew out of the Secret Language of Light. I want to revisit those because I think there's something very interesting in them that through my grieving process, no, I don't need to move on from that either. Grief transforms. Grief transforms, and it must be allowed to be processed. I want to take a look at some of those cards because I think we've got really interesting synergies, alignment with the astrology of our time. So, first of all, the standout card for me was Inward Revolution. Now, I talked about values I talked about this is a critical point. It is a tipping point, and they're the images I got clairvoyantly. Something going around in a circle that is that like an ellipse that is out of balance or becoming more balanced, I should say. The Venus-Mars conjunction with Pluto is forcing us all to dig deep and examine our values. What happens when we do that? We don't want war. We don't want people killed. We don't want dictators, aggressive, bloodthirsty dictators justifying a bloody invasion of a sovereign country. And we're being forced on both sides of the political fence to decide where our values lie. The internet is not a game. This has become all too real. So there's an inward revolution, that Venus-Mars conjunction with Pluto, forcing us to dig deep and examine our values. Inward revolution. Protesters marching in Russia. Brave protesters. They're being arrested, thrown in jail. Such bravery. Inward revolution. The other cards I drew was soul love, soul family, and soul mating. This actually is bringing us together. It is uniting us beyond the internet unreality. It is bringing us together by forcing us to examine our values. This has become all too real. The next cards I want to focus on is the divine masculine and divine feminine. What are the odds that out of however many cards are in that deck, usually, I don't know, 50, 60 cards, that I would draw both the masculine and the feminine energy. The other aspect of unity is it is uniting us all across the genders. It's also signalling that balance coming forward. I talked about female reservists in Ukraine. We'll get images of those female reservists fighting Russian troops. Has Vladimir Putin gone too far this time? I think he has. And the final card I want to go back to is, well, not final, but the last card before I look at what was at the base of the pack is there is only light. There is only light. So we are, part of our values is to have faith. To have faith, to walk the walk, not just talk the talk, about where we believe the victor will actually be. And we've got at the base of the pack, you are the universe. You are the universe. That what is that light? That light is the light of coming together, the light of unity. This is a defining moment. It's also a very, it can be quite scary and unsettling as well. I'm sure other people couldn't sleep or haven't been able to sleep since they got the news as well. So, the questions I want to ask today, let's just go to the astrology for one moment, please. Here, this is an Australian ephemeris, but let's just have a look. So in the US, you're about 15 hours behind us. Let's just have a look at where everything is at the moment. The difference that we're coming into over the next 24 hours, if you're in the US, is that the moon is actually trining Venus. The moon is also trining Mars. So we get, what is the moon? It is that overflowing, it's our emotions, isn't it? It's our emotional life, our emotional body. And that is trining Venus and Mars. So Venus and Mars can be quite intense. It can bring forward an outpouring of love and support. And I think that's what we're going to see. Who's on the right side of the line? And I know it's not Vladimir Putin. Now, why am I looking at the astrology? The other very interesting conjunctions here are Mercury conjunct Pluto. So we're seeing this. World War I and World War II were information was brought to us via war correspondence. Now we're actually seeing it play out in real time, which is why bloodthirsty Putin is saying to the Ukrainians, don't bother fighting. He doesn't want those images splashed everywhere, including within his own country, if it can get by the state-controlled, censored Russian media. Venus conjunct Mars. Okay, so we talked about that. And Jupiter is sextiling Uranus, Uranus, the planet of lightning change. Jupiter is expansion. So this event in itself, however it will play out, is going to bring change to our planet, I believe, for the better. All right, so let's have a look at... now, I have to say that the Russians have... not the Russians, Putin. Putin has taken Chernobyl. There's some fear about what he might do. I don't think he will do anything with Chernobyl. I think it's apparently, as I understand it, the route to Kiev. Now, I don't want any comments on pronunciation. I choose to say Kiev. Some people call it, the Ukrainians call it Kiev, but I pronounce how I pronounce, so don't bother correcting me. That's an insult when I do get on and do a, 40-minute reading to be pulled up on pronunciation without any courtesy or thank you. So off you go with that too. All right, so at least I can laugh, eh? All right, so, and I don't mind trolls, so don't feel sorry for me. I just get rid of them. So, it's part and parcel of having a channel is to deal and manage the trolls. But I must say my tolerance level is very low at this time. Okay, for trolls, I mean. All right, will there be a war with Russia? Will there be, that's what people are frightened of. Will the sanctions do much good? They're long term. The help is needed now. And we'll take a look at Putin. Has he overplayed his hand, which I believe he has. Is this the end for him? I believe it will be his Waterloo, which I've said. So now, yesterday I asked would they take Kiev. I got some ambiguity. I got the same Six of Wands that I got will peacekeeping forces go in. And it threw me a little bit. So I just want 3 cards because obviously what Putin wants to do is take out the Ukrainian government. So the Ukrainians are without leadership. And that way he then just takes over the country and spins some BS about, it was a cabal and he's doing the world a favour, however he wants to put it. I feel Zelensky is a very brave man. He wasn't a politician when he was elected. He's a young person. Someone asked me, he's in numerology, he's the master number 33. That's communication. He will lead, I feel, through his communication, or is leading through his ability to communicate. That plea to the Russians, he's a very good communicator. All right. And I feel for him, I worry about him because, of course, we know what Putin does. He shoots people. I want to remind you also of a story I told you a long time ago. And, if you don't want to listen to these stories, I'll get to the tarot, but this is what I'm doing today. I went to a doctor in Australia who was from Ukraine. She told me a story. Let me just get my power pack. She told me a story of her teenage years in Ukraine. She was a young woman and she left Ukraine, obviously, to migrate to Australia. Her best friend was a journalist, a female journalist. Putin rocked up to wherever they were and it was his birthday and he asked that the journalist be brought to him and he shot her. As a birthday present to himself. Okay, we know he shoots journalists. We know he poisons people with nerve gas. We know all that. And I think the world turning a blind eye because of the oligarchy, that's something else we need to see, isn't it? It's the Plutonian truth that is emerging. All right, so let's go back to that ambiguous question. Will they take Kiev? Okay, I feel I've got to go with what comes to me very quickly. I feel that the Ukrainian government will get out of Kiev before that happens in order to set up their government from another, not leaving the country, but set up from another area that isn't under Russian control, maybe close to the borders with NATO. Maybe that might be what they do. Okay, so will Putin take Kiev? Will Putin take Kiev? The High Priestess, she portends matters that, are difficult to see, that are still coming into form. It hasn't been written yet. There's the ambiguity. The Two of Coins, they are walking a tightrope, and there has to be decisions made for everyone in Kiev, because that's where Putin is heading. The Wheel of Fortune is the foundation. Change, fortunes improving. In the past we have the Five. We have the Five of Swords. Well, that is the invasion. Let's see what's in the sky. Three of Swords. Potentially they will. There's the heartbreak, betrayal card. Let's see what's in the immediate future. It's not going to be an easy campaign for them. This is slow and steady progress. There will be nothing easy about taking Kiev. Okay, I want to make that clear. The Ukrainians are going to stand their ground. Now, we've got the death card here in the here and now. Yes, people are dying. And the Knight of Wands, movement of troops forward. That's where they're heading, and the Ukrainians know that. Six of Cups in the hopes and fears, the past. No one wants to go under Putin's rule. But we've got the Fool card as the outcome. Yes, but that victory will come at a cost. It's an inevitability. But it will come with world judgment. The Eight of Coins are those sanctions. Now, this is a different question to will the sanctions, the Ten of Swords. This is a different question to will the Ukrainian government fall. And so I'm going to ask that. So it's not going to be easy for him to take Kiev. There's going to be much bloodshed. Okay, so will the Ukrainian government fall? I feel clearer today in terms of my reading. I was very upset yesterday. I must have been captured in a past life. I must have been in prison. Perhaps I was even killed in the past, because this triggers me very much. So, as did the Afghanistan loss of life as well. Okay, so let's take a look. Will the Ukrainian government survive? Will the Ukrainian government survive this attack? The Ace of Coins. Okay, so that's a yes card. This is help that they're getting, but we've also got crossed by loss. The Five of Cups. There are 2 cups standing in this card. Well, actually, there's 3. There's 3 standing in this card, and 2 are lost. I hope that's not Zelensky. The Lovers card, support. They're going to be supported. The Three of Wands in the past, they've got the support. They've done what they needed to do to be supported. They're a sovereign country. The Ten of Cups, family. I just see so much support here. And the Seven of Cups, we need to make choices as to how far we're going to get involved with this beyond the sanctions. So here and now, though, not everyone in the government survives. But I have the Strength card here. the card of strength, inward revolutions. The Two of Cups, they're hoping that their contracts, their commitments, their relationships with Europe and others prevail. I'm pleased to say the Six of Wands indicates that the government of Ukraine will survive and that there will be a new start for them. And the Queen of Coins, domestic stability. So at the end of all of this, look at these aces fly. Look at these aces come out here. That Six of Wands, there's clarity here. The government of Ukraine survives. Three aces. Would Putin install his own government, I guess, is the next question. But my question was phrased as the government of Ukraine surviving. Is this the current government, please? Could I have a clarification? Is this the current government? Because Putin would obviously, yes. Okay, so in some form, but that's a page. Be patient, something coming to fruition in time, and anxiety. So, Nine of Wands, barriers, battle weary. At the end of the day, enough of the current government survives, but not all. Not all. The Tower card and the Eight of Cups, loss. Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, that's interesting. King of Cups, Biden might be forced to do more. Biden might have planned to do more. Okay, so, all right, let's go to Putin now. Let's go to Putin. I want to make this reading. I know people say, I'll watch you for an hour. Okay. Putin, is this the end? Is this has he gone too far? Has Putin... No, let's start again. Will Putin survive his invasion in the longer term? Show me Putin in the longer term. Will he survive what he's done? Show me Putin in the longer term. Show me Putin in the longer term. I see troops going into a dark tunnel. Nine of Wands, battle weary, boundaries. It's a high price for what he's done. He's crossed by the Knight of Wands. I still feel there's a movement, a peacekeeping movement coming in. The Seven of Coins. Don't be surprised if at some point he reviews, comes out with a statement that he's achieved his objectives or whatever he's going to say. But this is also a downturn in the Russian economy. That's the foundation of the reading. Whatever they are doing, whatever the unified West is doing, it does cause him at some point to rethink this. Three of Cups in the past. Three of Cups, circles of support. Didn't expect the West to support Ukraine in the way it did. He's bitten off a bit more than he can chew with the Ten of Wands. He's struggling. Potentially he's struggling. Now we've got the Ace of Wands. This is a new start. It's a plan. It's a project. It's a new start. But the Ten of Wands talks about endings. So now he's got two tens. When you see tens in the tarot, you know that there's an end of the cycle. Because the environment around is domestic stability or instability, shall we say, as a result of those sanctions, hopes and fears, strength. Some people have said, has he got cancer? Does he have Parkinson? He does survive. We've got the Magician, manifestation, but doesn't go his way because he's also got betrayal and the Five of Cups. As I've always predicted, somebody takes him out from within. This doesn't end well for Putin. Has he overplayed his hand? He's having to defend himself. The Moon card, he's underestimated the emotion that is rising up in everywhere. justice, karma, judgment, and an inevitability that he will face justice for this. Be patient. Two of Wands and the King of Wands. There is an international court that is going to prosecute him in some way for what he's doing. For war crimes, perhaps. Ruling that the invasion is illegal, he's broken international law. There's something else there. Judgment and justice is coming down on Putin. So this is a tipping point, and I can tell you that it doesn't go Putin's way. All right, so show me one last question. You want to know about Bragg. I guess I'll do something on that. Show me Ukraine. Just 3 cards in the longer terms. In the longer term, Ukraine 2 years from now. Show me Ukraine 2 years from now. I still see its sovereignty. I still see a sovereign nation. The Emperor. That's what I saw. I saw that sovereignty. 10 of Cups. Families. But I also have a lot of anxiety here. This won't be without high cost. But the Six of Wands shows some sort of victory for Ukraine. Potentially, though, 5 of Swords in the sky. This abuse, this bullying, judgment, and inevitability is here. Some sort of inevitability. Patience. I think they're going to come out of this. King of Wands with the help, the courage, the bravery, not only of their people, but others as well. Allies. Page of Wands moving forward. It's a cost, but they survive. The Fool card. They survive this invasion because they fight hard. And they sustain a lot of casualties. Okay, so the sanctions will start to bite, I feel, bite Putin. All right, one last question around the Manhattan DA prosecutor who allegedly, we don't know, this is just reporting from the New York Times, which, allowed Trump a free reign for 30 years in their hometown. Okay, so what we've got to remember is Letitia James as the Attorney General of New York. Bragg, the Manhattan District Attorney, works for her. She has a cooking civil case against the Trump org, which has already really been proven through the Mazars flip, the accounting flip. So all is not lost. Let's have a look at Bragg. I feel it's more lack of confidence, really. I don't think he was really... anyway, let's have a look. Okay, so is the Manhattan DA's case over? They say it's ongoing. Is the Manhattan District Attorney's case over against Donald Trump? Queen of Swords. Well, that's the prosecutor logic. Cross by review. Okay, so he's reviewing everything. That's why those prosecutors have gone. He's actually taking a good hard look at that case and reviewing it. The Knight of Coins is the foundation of the reading. Reliability would suggest that it does continue. The Knight of Swords in the past. This is very quick movement. I hate to say this, but he wants to literally slow it down and shore it up. The Tower, there's something that is here for him personally. When I say the Tower, there's been an outcry over this. He's a Democrat. The Knight of Cups is going to come out with a statement and an offering soon to put your fears to rest. We've got the Six of Cups, the past, and we've got the Eight of Swords, restriction. He's restricted by something that occurred in the past. I don't know whether that's case-related or what. Three of Swords, hopes and fears. Obviously, people are upset about this. It will continue, though. There's the Sun card, and we've got the King of Coins. So another aspect of the Sun is full illumination. and the Eight of Coins. Yeah, they're still going to keep working on it. The Knight of Wands. There will be movement and an announcement soon. Just to clarify, because the Tower is there. This Sun card, that's the strongest yes in the pack. Okay, will it continue? What's this Sun card doing here? Full illumination. What's this Sun card doing here? Is this a yes? So we've got the past. What else can you tell me? Something going back to the past, the Sun card. Okay, something else wants to come out, and that's the Knight of Swords has flipped. That's already here in this reading. Movement forward, and the King of Pentacles. Yeah, look, I'm going to go out on a limb, and Queen of Cups, something to be revealed. I do believe he's reviewing the case. He's reviewing it. Yes, he is reviewing it. But I don't believe that the investigation is over. I mean, I hope I'm right on that. I'm not right on everything, but I hope I'm right on that for you. He is going to make a statement soon with that Knight of Cups about it one way or another. So there you go. That's my reading on Bragg. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to have hopefully a weekend off. Before I go, I want to just do the I Am the Light prayer for Ukraine and Ukrainians and the Ukrainian government, and particularly the President Zelensky, because we know if Putin gets his hands on him, he will be, Okay, so, all right, let's take a few deep breaths. This prayer was originated by a light worker in America who's since passed on, called Consuelo Newton. And I'm going to change it slightly to say, we are the light. Okay, so, and you can say this with me. Okay, for Ukraine, for divine protection, for everybody in Ukraine who's fighting against the invasion by Putin, we are the light. The light is within us. The light moves through us. The light surrounds us. The light protects us. We are the light. All right, I felt that. I felt the light increasing there, certainly around me. All right, I'll leave it there. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your support. I come on here to read on this because it is one of the most important things, the most important thing that we're facing at this time. My next reading will look at whether or not this develops into a war with NATO against Russia, NATO allies against Russia. That's what everybody's fearing, but I'll save that for another reading. I'm done now. All right, bye for now.